not live yet. It's just that I'm warning you.
We're ready to go live.
Oh. Okay, shit. Yeah, okay, so yeah, like, alright.
Waiting for. Okay, we're live now. Hey guys, welcome to RadioMythoverse for the day of July 5th, 2020. With me is Brett, Dylan the Stream Killer, and Shirtless Yoda.
I am the stream killer.
Yes,
would've
you
been,
just killed Lenore's stream.
Yeah. Yeah. So for context, Matt and I just got off our friend Lost Lenore's stream. And honestly, I have to take responsibility for this. I should have known better because she was dual streaming on Twitch and YouTube. So I sent her the latest Sasha McKenzie piece that Dylan made for fun, and well, I shared it with Lenore because I figured why not? And Lenore shows it, and YouTube takes it down when it's no more spicy than the average yoga video you're gonna find on YouTube. But like I said, I honestly should have seen this coming because this has happened enough times. I should have expected this.
Yeah, it is really weird, like their standards for things,
And-
because I mean, according to Lenore herself, she's done some not like raunchy stuff, but like nude art on the YouTube before.
You've seen her Chun-Li piece with how prominently she displays Chun-Li's butt.
I have not seen this piece, but I think it's just YouTube is conspiring against Dylan. They recognize he's a threat.
Well, that's what I said. I think that Dylan has a stalker. That's just flagging every single stream he's on, or if his artwork is shown.
Yeah.
We got Gorgonite in the chat. Welcome back, Gorgonite.
In a while.
Oh shit! Hey.
He says, "Sup, straight people," and Brett.
Oh shit!
Shots fired.
Okay.
Gorgonite's back in the streams. Things must be going back to normal for once in our lives.
We have a normal.
Sure.
I mean, I'm just saying, we stopped having regulars in the streams around March, and that's when stuff started to go south. I'm trying to make a really dumb connection that's not there. Please excuse me, I'm very tired tonight.
I think we all are.
Come
Lenore.
on.
Lenore was just, as you can tell, she was rather loopy. And that's okay
Like more
because
than usual.
today was a very tiring day for some reason. I don't know why, but even I've been feeling tired today.
Right.
And then we go on stream, and then Dylan takes down the stream with his art.
I believe I'm going to bring it upon myself that every time YouTube takes down a video, I draw something worse.
I do believe that's why you did the new Mythics 2 variant. You want to do something worse.
Well, that and I wanted to do something a little better looking, you know.
Oh yeah, that represents your art better. That's completely understandable, and they'll take down the stream even more. Still, what is it with you? What is it with YouTube and you?
Oh my god. It's just
All I'm saying is, I think I think like, why are we even bothering streaming on YouTube anymore? Or Twitch it at least leaves us alone.
I you know I think maybe next time we show my drawings we invert the colors and maybe YouTube won't recognize it.
You really think that would work?
well, cause think about it. Like anything with a skin tone and curves gets flagged. Like
You
this
know what
American.
you could do? You know what you could do is you could stream on Twitch, then upload the video, and then blur out Dylan's art and upload it to YouTube.
We can absolutely
We could
blur
try.
out Dylan's art. Because apparently that's what is causing the problems with YouTube. I mean, it's obviously not the nudity. I, after, as part of the discussion, I looked it up on YouTube, typed in naked into the search, and oh boy, there's nudity on there. Uncensored nudity.
No way.
Dude, you can find
Dylan's like, you don't say.
Uncensored breasts.
dude, you can find people playing patty cake on YouTube. Like, no joke. It's some people are just really good with skipping the loopholes, I guess.
Oh god, all I found was Leslie Jones. No.
This is what you get.
And now the stream
This is
goes
your
down
horny
because
Dylan.
Dylan made that joke.
This is YouTube having its Joker moment. You get what you fucking deserve.
Indeed. So speaking of Dylan's art, Brett, how do you think Maeve would feel knowing that her mother has become the head of a bee cult?
What do you think?
Disturbed.
I don't know.
I mean,
I'm not Maeve.
I mean, but to be fair, we all grow up at some point, and then you kind of realize, yeah, you know, now may not been my thing, but I get that everybody has a thing. I'm just saying.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure you'd be embarrassed if your mom was the head of a bee called Yoda.
Probably.
Right, just
But I mean, I feel like that's the most tame of the things she doesn't know about her mom.
Yeah, let's not talk about that.
It's a forbidden image.
Jesus Christ. Oh, sorry. I was supposed to hit the mute button.
Good
Well,
job, Salem.
Well, we've been on for 8 minutes and we
It's
have not
when
been
you
taken
forget
down
to
yet.
put the- Hey, that's good.
I'm sorry, what?
We haven't been taken down for 8 minutes. Or if it's the other thing I was gonna say, it's like when you forget to put the lock on the door to your basement and Joe Biden comes out.
Yeah, we're going to keep the politics out.
Yeah.
Hey, we do it in a joking manner, though.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I don't think that's political. I think that's just an
I
in-joke.
gotta be honest though. I think the joke has grown kind of stale. I mean, even he's on loop, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, but still, it's
There's only so much you can parody of reality because reality always comes up with a better parody.
yeah, and
This is
we don't know
Accurate.
a whole lot about what Twitch is going to do to us.
About what?
What Twitch is going to do to us, you know.
Oh yeah. My God, we seriously need a. I really want a 100% free expression art outlet because I found out that even Parlor has some pretty questionable terms of service.
Like how you're expected to help pay for their defense, illegal defense.
Oh, that, and also the fact that they said
like they don't allow like they don't allow a lot of stuff regarding art. So like you have to keep it very PG-13.
My stuff was very PG-13.
Hmm.
No,
Most
you
of it.
hush. Yes, it was.
Let's, I think I'm gonna see how bad it might be by promoting Mythics Institute on Parlor with your variant cover.
Do we really want to tempt fate?
Oh,
Two.
the other, I mean, I saw artwork getting banned on Parlor for just gore,
To be quite honest,
and being a horror guy, I was really bummed to see that.
yeah, to be honest, I don't want to be on Parlor. I don't want
Yeah,
the temptation.
Well, I'll tell you, the one benefit is that people there are nowhere near as nasty as they are on Twitter. But other than that, there's really no big difference because, like I said, it seems like the sensibilities are just as high on Twitter, but just in different areas.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're still on the search for like a Wild West alternative, you know.
Yeah, although apparently the guy people running Parlor have been talking to Jack Dorsey, so and they caved to some of his ideas.
Is that so?
Uh-huh.
We're like the Vanderlyn gang on the run from the Pinkertons.
So
I
basically,
mean, if anything, at the very least, it's another outlet just to promote yourself on, and then you get more coverage.
yeah, but to be honest, I don't think Parlor is going to go very far. It'll probably go as far as Gab.
Oh, it's already, if I'm not mistaken, it's already got way more users than Gab.
Well, it's probably also because the guys running Parlor aren't on Twitter more often than
Yeah.
their own platform.
And I'll say, Gab is the site that I definitely will never get on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going near Gab.
I was on Gap for a while, and then I deleted it.
Yeah, that's the thing with. I mean, we got to be careful now because a lot of these places they'll now use free speech and free expression as advertisement, and then as soon as they start getting a base, that's when they start showing their true colors, and then you realize that, oh, you really can't say what's on your mind, or you can't show your art, or you can't share your stories and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's I mean, I wish I knew how to make websites because, I mean, heck yeah, I would love to make my own alternative. But that's the sad thing is a bunch of these sites back in the day used to be the Wild West that we're all asking for right now. Like even like in the early days of like even Tumblr and DeviantArt, almost anything could fly.
Yeah.
They didn't become the cringe fest Puritans that they are today overnight. They kind of got to that point.
Which is sad because they started off with potential.
Yeah. And I'll give the floor to everybody else because I realized I kind of hijacked the discussion.
Well,
Bloop bloop. It's
Alabaster.
Hello.
hello. So,
Is it started yet, or?
yeah, it started.
Yes.
We're already live. Man.
Oh. Hello, everyone.
Welcome to the stream.
Okay, so in some good news, Alabaster got a shout out for us over on a Razor Fist stream.
Which is very good work. Excellent job, Alabaster.
Thank you. I was happy to help. Was just watching him play Diablo and like, wait a minute.
You
There's
just
something
saw
I
an
can do
opportunity,
here.
You saw an opportunity,
Yeah.
you just took it.
Yeah.
I was watching that stream too, and all of a sudden I hear the word Mythics. I'm like, what?
Yeah, it was funny because
heard-
I hear, over the years I've heard so much about Diablo 2, but Diablo 1 almost never gets mentioned. So it was cool
So-
to check it out.
Well, that's just because Diablo 2 was just so much better than Diablo 1.
But I wouldn't know. But it's on GOG now, so I might pick it up.
Okay, just for comparison, Diablo 1 had three classes. Diablo 2, if I remember correctly, had half a dozen, and 2 extras with the expansion. And I don't know if it had procedurally generated maps in Diablo, but I know that was present in Diablo 2.
Huh. Right.
Speaking
Yeah,
of shouting out the Mythics stream, so we are up to 54 combined backers between IndieGoGo and Kickstarter, which is awesome.
Yep.
Nice.
How many total
Yeah.
did we have on the original Mythiverse campaign?
The original Mythiverse with the all 3 issue ones. I'm gonna look that up. And
It was
what
like
was
6,000 and so,
well
and like
number of backers he means.
oh.
So we got 172.
Ooh.
172
Alright.
on the combined campaign. Mythics issue 2 picked up 74. And we're currently at 40 on Kickstarter.
Yeah. So I mean, if you look proportionally, like the first campaign was 3 comics, so we're about on track to hit the number of backers for a single comic.
Yep, and well, I think we're going to have a lot more people back us in the last week when everyone knows they have the money for it.
True.
Right.
It's a weird
Yeah,
thing.
but-
It's also a weird thing about IndieGoGo is that people do that as well.
Yeah. Yeah, why is that? Because Indie Kickstarter, I can understand it doesn't charge you unless the campaign gets funded, but IndieGoGo charges you on the spot.
It's possible that because Kickstarter has been around for so long, people are used to that.
Huh?
You know, people are used to what goes on Kickstarter. So they see that Kickstarter doesn't charge until it's fulfilled. They'll automatically think that IndieGoGo doesn't charge until it's fulfilled.
You know what that reminds me of?
Hmm.
Back when my dad used to work for Coca-Cola, do you remember those special edition polar bear cans?
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Don't they still roll those out every Christmas?
I don't know, but I remember he brought one home before they were like going to officially release them, and it was silver and white.
Okay.
Now that's probably to this day my favorite Coke can of all time as far as design goes. But I remember telling him like, this is a really bad idea. He's like, why? I'm like, people are going to think that this is Diet Coke because they don't read. And sure enough, that they had that problem, so they changed it that polar bear can to red and silver instead.
What is the gold can? Is it caffeine free or something?
Yeah, it is. It is. Gold is caffeine free.
Yep.
Spirit of dead air.
Sphere of that air, yes.
I didn't do anything. One of you motherfuckers did.
Well,
Okay, but now we got to ask a real question. Now that we've brought up that Coke or Pepsi.
Coke.
Coke.
So far, so good.
Depends on my mood.
There's like a
Harrison,
5% chance I'm in the mood for Pepsi, but the rest of the time it's Coke because it's objectively better.
I will say Pepsi has one thing that Coke doesn't have. Taco Bell.
Also, like how I think like most movie
5%
theaters
chance I'm
carry
in the mood for
Pepsi, don't
Pepsi,
they?
but the rest of the time
It
it's Coke.
depends on the
Cinemark
theater, I
carries
guess.
Coke.
I know that the theater that I go to serves Coke. But I haven't been to the theater in forever because of Corona, Chan.
And you probably never will be going to the theater ever again.
Because they're
At the
shutting
rate
down. What a bump it up, bump.
Why do you have to hurt my feelings, guys? I love going to the theater.
I don't think they're all going to close down. I think it's just going to shrink. We might see more drive-ins open.
Dude, I'd be totally down for that. I've wanted to go to a drive-in theater for a while now, but I just don't know of any in my area.
The idea of that actually sounds nice because then you don't have to worry about the idiots talking in the middle of the movie.
Yeah, you just gotta tune your radio to the frequency.
Which is one of the best things ever.
To this day, one of my biggest pet peeves is the person who opens their phone in the theater and their phone's so bright that it's like your eye immediately goes to it. And your eye is taken off the screen, and then every time that happens, you always miss something.
Yeah. When I went to see 1917, there were a couple of women that would not stop talking throughout the entire movie. It wasn't full volume voice. It was whispering. That was just annoying.
Now, I never had this problem because the Regal Theater over in Lakewood, it's always been cheaper on Tuesday. It's always cheaper on Tuesdays, and every time I went, the theaters were like almost empty. So maybe I just picked a good time or something, but that was never a problem for me.
I've never really had these issues because I wasn't much of a moviegoer until last year. Funnily enough, I started getting into like the movie-going experience right before Rona ruined everything.
Yeah,
But I did see several movies in theater last year: John Wick, Joker, Endgame, and I feel like there was probably one or two others that I can't remember.
They can't shut down the theaters. I gotta see Kong vs. Godzilla on the big screen.
I'm just saying, this is a perfect opportunity for drive-ins to make a comeback because it's perfect to enforce social distancing because most people are going to stay in their vehicles. And you know what? Forget this. You don't even have to include the snack bar since just let people bring snacks in their car.
Yeah. I would love. So I just watched No Country for Old Men for the first time last night. I would love to watch that movie at a drive-in theater. That'd be awesome.
I really would.
That sounds amazing.
I'm cooming.
Kale Master.
No Country for Old Men is a very interesting movie just because it's like to my knowledge I can't think of another movie that features like no background score. Honestly think for a second. Can you recall a single scene where there was music playing in the background?
There was never music. There were a couple of sound swells. I'm not sure I'd count that as music though. Like there was instruments making noise, but it was
wasn't like intelligible melody. It was just a swell for dramatic
Didn't
effects.
they?
And there were only like 3 or 4 in the entire film. So
Didn't
yeah.
they do the same thing that they do in horror movies for that film? Didn't they like have that instrument where it's like you can't hear it per se, but your body reacts to it and it makes you feel tense?
I don't know. If it's
forgot-
that
I
or
forgot what it's
if it's that
called.
kind of like swell, then yes. Otherwise, I don't know. I was just blown away by like pretty much everything. Like the acting was amazing. I forgot
I can learn to
the guy playing Anton Chigurh.
Oh,
It's a fantastic
that's-
performance.
That's Javier Bardem.
Javier Bardem. Yeah, it was such an interesting character. I kind of want to read the book it was based on now, because apparently, like, Cormac McCarthy is an author that's kind of been on my radar, because I've heard of a couple things by him that are interesting. So I might pick up the book that No Country for Old Men is based on. But
I remember talking with Antonella about this once, and she said that Anton is like the best on-screen portrayal of a psychopath.
oh yeah, that's one of the things I really appreciate
Right.
is like every time he was in a conversation with someone, it was almost like the progression of the conversation was almost illogical. So take like the when he's in the the coin, when he's talking to the clerk at the gas station, like nothing either of them is saying makes much sense and makes much. Why can't I talk? Doesn't make much sense in context of other things that have been said. It's just like a really awkward, halting conversation.
It doesn't. It sounds unnatural.
Yeah, which plays into Chigurh's psychosis. Like it shows that
He
he is a very chaotic individual.
No, and I wouldn't call him chaotic.
He seems
I would call him-
chaotic to other people, even though he's probably the most consistent character in the film.
There's a logic to what he does, but it's like that kind of logic that only makes sense to him.
Yeah.
Like,
Man, I'm
Yeah.
so glad I watched that movie. I'm gonna watch it again tonight, maybe.
and I remember there was an interesting interpretation I saw in his character, because like the way he sort of treats like the ideas of choice and free will, it's like he sort of doesn't believe they exist. Like he, like and it's all in that one line with the coin where he talks about like, do you know what date it is printed on this coin? It traveled, I forget how it traveled this many years.
22 years, I believe.
Yeah, it traveled 22 years to get here. So
He has a very
uses himself as, like,
deterministic worldview. He
Yeah,
seems to think that everything that happened was preordained in some way.
Yeah, like he kind of sees himself as like an agent of fate. Like,
Yeah, and I think that's kind of evident in the last scene with the girl.
oh yeah,
I don't want to spoil for anyone who hasn't seen the movie yet, just in case, because that's kind of like at the tail end.
I tell you what.
Yeah,
I'll
it's been-
tell you what, though. I won't give away what happens at that point, but that was given the card that was pulled out that he normally plays. It was interesting to see a monkey wrench actually thrown into the process that he had set up for everybody before her.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And it's just like it comes down to it's not like even Anton doesn't believe he has any free will. He's just doing what he's just living a role.
I'd actually like to discuss that scene after the show, because I have some thoughts on it, but I don't want to like say it on stream.
That's fine. Anyway, to get into more Mythoverse related stuff, Dylan brought this up in the Discord, but we just recently put up a short comic that he worked on.
Oh, I need to
Yeah.
pull that up.
Yeah,
Oh.
and you will see this short comic if you're on the Patreon.
Which I am.
Yeah. If I remember correctly, Matt, you have to be at the $15 tier to get it, right?
I believe so. I'll look it up.
I thought it was the $5 tier.
It might be $5 tier. That's why I'm looking it up.
That's why I asked Matt.
It's $5 or higher. I have the email open.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, it's $5 or up. I believe it's the $15 that gets the Patreon exclusive covers.
All right.
I typed in a very basic description of the plot. If I can find it. Here it is. In the summer of 1998, 9 years prior to Mythics number 1, 12-year-old Maria Althea Fletcher faces an internal struggle while on vacation, as well as having her first encounter with the supernatural. Non-spoilery plot summary. Okay, I'm done.
I'll just say is I love what Dylan did with it.
Well,
Yeah,
thank you.
it's really good. I can't wait to see your work as we put them out for in the Mythiverse. I think that
I'm really excited too.
you've got a talent for storytelling in comics.
I really do appreciate. Yeah, you're the one that came up with the premise for this one. I was the one that wrote out the specific one. You just gave me the premise to go with.
Yep.
I hope it came out pretty decent. I hope people will like it.
I think so, especially that cat in the background.
I think that's
Leo. Yeah, it's Leo. He wanted to get out. He wanted to get out of my room, and it's not even, the door's not even shut all the way. He's smart enough to know how to open the door on his own. He's just being lazy.
Well, we're half hour in, and we still have not been taken down on YouTube.
Well,
To be
you
fair,
know,
we have
not,
to be fair.
you know, Brett. Not every cat can be the Velociraptor in Jurassic Park.
I have seen him get that door. I have seen him get that door open on his own. He knows how to do it. He was just feeling lazy today.
Why do it when he has a human do it?
You're not proving me wrong, Matt.
I'm not trying to prove you wrong.
He was just feeling like a lazy cat right now.
So in the Discord we're currently discussing ways I can draw more of Sasha.
Oh yeah. Yes, because Dylan's latest pick got Lenore's stream taken down.
Yep. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna draw one, and it's gonna be even more suggestive, or it's gonna be even worse.
That's good, Dylan. That is a nice short comic.
Oh, has
I'm trying to navigate.
has anyone in the creative?
I'm at the post that says too short comic story available now. I don't see a link to it.
You're on the Patreon. You should have gotten the email.
Oh, it's in an email. Okay. Oh,
What's that noise?
Sounds like a puppy.
Oh, that might be me. I've been painting some posts outside. Sorry, I'm working while I'm talking. Here, I'll mute my mic until I need to talk.
All right. Thanks, but thank you. All right. So, but yeah. Okay, getting back on track. So, we had the. So getting back on track, we have the new Patreon short comic, which was I'd say it's by Matt and Dylan, but I mean, Matt, how do you want to handle credit on this?
I think it's a split since.
Yeah. I mean, it'll say right there on the first panel, like story by Matt Trin and Dylan R. Fagan. So
Yep.
All right. So
yeah, he still gets writing credit. I mean, hey, he came up with the premise. I just wrote it out.
Yeah, and part of it is that I'd like to see people get used to your writing. Get used to your work before Roses of Blood is released.
Yeah, I'm going over the script of Roses and Blood because I've learned a lot of things since I wrote the last, what I thought was the final draft, but I'm like, I can go over this. Because, I've learned a few things about writing between then and now. I finished the scripts in December. And I've learned like so much since then. I'm like, okay, I can make this flow better, and I can characterize better. So I'm just hoping to put out like the best story I can. Yeah, because I really do care about putting out good stories.
Well, I have no doubt that you are capable of doing that. If your dedication to improving your art, sorry, I have that order backwards. If your dedication to writing good stories is as strong as your dedication to improving art, then I think there will be no issues because you have shown great improvement since I've known you.
I really do appreciate it, man.
I finally found it.
No, you did.
Yay!
Yeah.
I do want to say I'm a little irritated with the short comic just because there's a line in there that I feel like was pulled from part of the pitch for my comic.
Oh, what's line?
Family is more than just who you're related to.
Oh shit.
I mean, it's fine. It's more of a funny thing than something that I'm like legitimately angry about. It's like, this looks familiar, Matt.
Well, in this case, it's Dylan.
No, I wrote all the dialogue.
It's a funny.
It's fine. It's just a funny coincidence, yeah.
But how did the writing come out for a 12-year-old? Because I'm writing a 12-year-old character, and I hope, and I tried the best I can. I could to make it sound authentic.
I need to pull the comic up again.
I don't know. I mean, it's not like Dylan. It's not like Dylan copied his premise and shit like a certain Polish author did with Elric.
Now we're not going to get into that debate.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, there's kind of nothing really to discuss about it anyway. I mean, like, I don't know if anyone saw Razorfist's video on it. The big takeaway was the only reason why Sapkowski hasn't been sued by Moorcock is because Moorcock really doesn't care about it.
Ah.
I find it interesting that there was going to be an Elric series, and then they canceled it because it was too similar to the Witcher series, even though the Witcher series copied off of Elric. That's just bullshit.
You know,
Oh,
knowing
considering they were probably going to make it wokeified, it's probably for the best.
knowing the internet, I'm surprised they haven't like shipped Geralt and Elric together or something.
Yeah,
Dylan, no.
that's a good
No,
point,
no,
how
no,
effeminate
no. I'm sorry.
looking- I mean, especially when you consider how effeminate looking Elric is.
No.
He's a
He
trap.
is. He is. I mean, have you seen most of the artistic depictions of Elric? He's
I
very.
have.
Just look at them up. He is depicted with some level of androgyny.
Ah, interesting.
So, Dylan, to answer your question, reading back over it is believable dialogue. I don't notice anything that like feels off in the dialogue.
Oh,
So-
that's good.
Granted, I don't deal with 12-year-olds on a regular basis, but
This is why you really got to make it clear as soon as they kind of understand the language that they're adopting.
Right.
That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I like.
As a professional person.
Yeah, I like really trying my best to like capture the feeling of finding out, that, you're a kid. You just found out that you're not related to your parents. And I mean, I have a nephew. He when he has like strong feelings about something, like, you can just see just how frustrated he gets. And yeah, and I just I don't want to delve too deep, but it's only like what 8 pages I think, but I do hope it's a entertaining read. I tried to go for this retro style look with the artwork. You guys can keep talking. I ran out of things to say.
Half-Life 2 is on sale for $2 on Steam.
Ooh.
Well, of course, because it's the summer sale, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
That doesn't surprise me, but yeah, I mean, honestly, I think Dylan did I think, until Roses and Blood comes out, this is probably the best artwork Dylan has done so far.
Absolutely, I love the color choice. When she's with her family, it's so warm, but then when it goes to that well, I don't know what it is she's facing, but that sense of doubt and everything, and then all the color gets sucked out, and it's very alienating, and chilling.
Yeah. And then like the third to the last page kind of just like hit you in the face with like these weird abstract colors.
Yeah.
Cause the way I can put it, it's like it's her inner struggles being used against her by a demon. That's the best way I can describe it. And it's her, it's her having to deal with that. And this is her first true encounter with the supernatural up until, I believe, until she's a young adult.
Yep.
With Spriggans?
Huh?
Like with the Spriggans?
Well, more along the lines of up until she meets Skeleton. Since he's a supernatural being as well.
Right. Yeah, I even went as far to add a screen tone filter to it to sort of help give it that retro vibe.
maybe one day I'll try coloring with screen tones like like the way they used to color in like old comics. I think one day I want to give that a try.
That sounds good.
Yeah,
and
but
you'll be successful at it too. I have no doubt about that.
Definitely.
yeah, we've got some other short comics in the works. I believe this will be a monthly thing from now on.
Yeah, we're gonna. Yeah,
Uh,
we are gonna try and make it a monthly thing. Yeah.
and yeah, the next one, I've advertised this on
Facebook. It's about Adobe Kroger the night she got arrested and was put into the Catholic school that was a secretly a recruiting ground for paladins. Yeah, yeah, but this was about the night, the darkest, lowest point in her life, and her just completely going over the edge. And this story will not hold will not pull any punches. It it's not meant. I'm not gonna try and sound like Neil Druckmann or anything, but it it
It's gonna make you feel bad, but for the right reasons.
yeah, that you're better at explaining these things than I am. and but the upside to it is that this character will come out of it. You see that in the stories, like the audiobook or the comics.
Mhm.
And it's really nice, like seeing Adobe, knowing that she changes as a character. I believe the readers will be very happy with Adobe story as it goes along. Because uh, I think Dan really has the right idea with how he writes. Because yeah, he puts his characters. Yeah, he outright puts his characters through hell, but there's always a payoff where the character. You had to go through hell, but it feels really good when when Adobe triumphs. Yeah, I listened to the whole audiobook. Yeah, she went through hell, but I mean, just Dan is an incredible writer, and I hope to do the same thing with my own stories,
uh, where just there's a lot of payoff, you know, and Dan's writing is something I really strive to, you know, be, you know, is like an example of what I strive to create. And I really hope with my own stories I can do that justice and entertain the reader, because that's all I want is people to read my stories and just think it's good and entertain. I mean, you don't see that a lot nowadays, but it's true.
Mhm. Yeah, I think it's still there.
Yeah, it's still there, but it's diluted so much. Like you read a lot of Marvel or DC stories, you don't get that heart that the old stories
Yeah,
had. You know what I mean?
I get. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to debate that. I mean, at best, they're just inoffensive. Which, I mean, at best of modern Marvel comics, they just don't do anything. It's like, yeah, sure, that didn't like, sure, I don't hate this, but I don't like this either. So it's like, what am I supposed to feel towards that? Which I would almost argue, I mean, like, if you're if if you're a consumer, something being offensive is probably the worst thing you that could happen to you. If you're but when you're a creator, the worst thing you can do is have no impact. Because let me put it this way: even though everyone hated Last Jedi, people still talk about it.
Right.
Yeah, there's that old saying of there's no such thing as bad publicity.
You know, bad publicity is no publicity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's all there is to it. I hope I can create some positive buzz around my book.
I do think you will. Barring any kind of major incident, like your art getting taken down on streams.
Man, can we at least show the meme? Can we show that at least? I think we.
Hopefully.
I'm not exactly sure about how to put things up on Streamlabs OBS, and with how it's now running the slider, I don't want to break anything.
Okay. Well, everyone else in the Discord. Actually, fuck, if you've been on everyone on Twitter's probably seen it by now.
Hey,
It was.
are the
That
links
thing
to
was.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
That thing was just so perfect.
What the hell is this?
Okay, now what were you gonna say, Dylan?
Do we have the link to the Patreon in the stream chat, or?
Well,
We got links to. We have links to both campaigns in the description.
Well, with the Kickstarter,
Okay.
I think the Patreon's in there too.
No, it's not.
Hey, you guys keep talking. I gotta go do something.
I'm working on it. I'm trying to find the Mythiverse on my page. Here it is.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised we actually were able to get on. We were able to get back onto YouTube after a week.
All right, links up in the chat.
Yeah, good.
Have we even taken down from YouTube yet? This stream?
Not yet.
There's not. Well, that's because we got nothing to show.
I was gonna say
Oh.
you were never on YouTube. The stream never happened.
That would be nice if all we did is just stream on Twitch.
Yeah.
See, that's how you get kicked off YouTube.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you.
Not that I wanted it to happen, but I would have died if that happened.
My
Still
nephew was
like,
just
oh,
making.
really?
My nephew was just making fun of me because he knows the video got taken down. Yeah.
Ha ha. That's funny.
Yeah. Cause I like walk in the kitchen and go do something. He's like, as soon as they show your video, YouTube, take it down.
Wait, your nephew said this?
Yes.
He's smart. He understands the world.
Yeah.
The world of
'cause
YouTube.
yeah, it's just like what the heck? Like there's like so much worse things you could do.
They're targeting you, man. That's the only explanation.
All I'll just say is, it's no more lewd than the average yoga video on YouTube.
The yoga videos I watch are very different. Than
All right, Dylan.
I'm just playing.
Curb the raunch.
Yoda, you got that meme?
Go to Horny Joe.
Yes.
Let's see. Yes, I did. I did save it. I will send it to you so you can slap it on stream, maybe.
Oh, can't because Streamlabs and right now I've been getting some warnings that there have been dropped frames detected, 68% over the last 2 minutes.
Huh.
We're still live though, right?
Yep.
Wait, what? Wait, what's going on?
There's been skipped frames.
How are they skipping frames? I don't get it. How do
I
they
mean,
skip
there's no
if they don't need
frames to
go?
skip. So unless audio's jacky. What? I can't talk tonight, man. I'm so tired. I spent all day outside, and it was very warm. So
Oh, understandable. Going out from hot to cold, that does something to the human body. Makes you tired.
yeah, what I was trying to say is that as long as the audio isn't screwed up, then it shouldn't matter for dropping frames.
Yeah, it shouldn't.
YouTube's trying to be subtle.
Because we're not. It's not like we're showing anything on stream. It's just us talking into a black void.
It's my presence. YouTube knows.
Yes, it knows because you're talking.
It's like keeping.
See, it's not YouTube that's targeting our streams. It's Streamlabs. They pick up Dylan, and they're like, "Oh, we gotta tell YouTube, we gotta take it down.
Take it down now.
We can't handle it. It's too much horniness in one place."
You thought that yeah, Twitch is used to it because of all the EFOPs.
Yeah, the best way to advertise something is telling people it's controversial.
Dylan, the artist YouTube does not want to know about.
They tried to shut me down.
Often.
His power needs to be contained. It's too dangerous.
You cannot contain me. I shall not be contained. Okay, I'll be right back.
And then the stream gets taken down.
No, I just gotta go feed the dogs.
Well,
Well, what?
so anyone got anything to talk about? Any projects of their own?
I don't think my comic is far enough into development for me to share anything other than that I'm working on something.
Yep. How's Changelink issue 2 going, Brett?
Um, it's coming along. Victor's been moved back to night shift at his job, so he'll have more time to get more pages sketched and inked. Ginger's been coloring. That's about all. That's about all I can. That's about all I think I can discuss at this time.
All right.
The drawing that got our stream taken down the last time was the Victor's drawing that I colored.
Yeah.
So I was still somewhat responsible.
Yep.
Yes, Dylan. Yes, you are.
I am the string killer.
And it's now become the meme.
This is why we have a certain Rule 34 on the Mythiverse Discord server. Dylan, no.
Yeah, conveniently it's Rule 34.
I can't even. I can't believe that's the. What the funny part is, I'm 99% certain that's coincidence. Like I did not do that on purpose. Just when I posted that. That's just how it turned out.
Rule 35 is Dylan, yes.
And now we know what that is.
We give the Dylan yes to the memes Dylan makes, because those are great.
Rule 36 is too late to stop.
No. Rule 30, Dylan, yes. It means, Dylan, yes, I'm going to do whatever I want. Don't tell me Dylan now.
Pretty much.
Dylan,
30,
Dylan, no, and Dylan, yes.
36.
Dylan, no, and Dylan, yes are two opposite, contradicting each other. Oh, forever entangled battle.
36 is no boomer memes or boomer jokes. Ow! Leo.
And Leo strikes again.
Yeah, he's biting.
Alright, I would like to keep this stream up though, because I want to share this one around.
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Just because there's absolutely nothing to show on this stream. Oh, here's an interesting one. 31 is you can only be as lewd as Lenore.
I think that's been violated.
Not very active, so.
I think that's been bypassed.
You can't get any more lewder than Dylan.
Yeah, I think that rule needs to be changed to you can only be as lewd as Dylan. Although it might be a bad thing to let Dylan kind of run free.
I just want to say, challenge accepted.
I'm actually,
Then of course, this is
have-
another funny one. This is another funny one I made. 30. If something goes wrong, it's probably Denise's fault. Yeah. Some of these are joke rules, but I'm proud of them anyway.
Of course you are.
Oh, and when I be? Yeah. You stop biting. You stop biting.
Yes, Leo, stop biting.
So, have any of you heard of a website called Bill?
Called what?
World Anvil?
You were really, really low, man.
This is- How about now?
Try and repeat what you said.
Have any, excuse me. Have any of you heard of a site called World and
No.
World. No, I have not.
It's something a friend of mine recommended to me. I'm just looking into it. I was trying to see if anyone else had it. It's like a. Trying to see the best way to describe it. It's like a way you could make your own like wiki for fictional worlds and stuff.
No, we've actually been setting up a Mythoverse wiki, actually.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, it's been fun. I think I'm gonna hop off the stream. I might be around after stream. Talk to y'all later.
Yeah, talk later.
But
See you,
okay,
mate.
bye.
Ah, finally, he's gone.
I gotta do something. Oh my god! Oh. I want to see what he does with that paint job on those posts. Probably looks really nice once it's done. I'm gonna go get something to drink. I'll be back.
Well,
Do you say there's a wiki for the Mythoverse?
yep.
I thought I heard that.
Yeah, we're working on one.
Just the Sasha one is like, here's all the things Dylan had drawn. Sasha McKenzie, also known as Maeve's mom, Maeve's hot mom.
MHM.
And just like the whole thing is just like a brief description of her, and like she's been known to get looted a lot.
I mean,
By
this
one-
is true.
By one artist.
Who is known as the horny one.
Also true. That is also true. All right, now you stop biting.
Oh, well, that's good.
Every time every time someone shows my drawings on YouTube, I just hear Patrick screaming, "Oh, oh!" YouTube be like, "Oh!"
It's like, calm down, dude. It's just a drawing.
Take it easy, son. It's just a drawing.
He's just standing there, menacingly.
And the sad thing is they've got even worse.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah, we killed Lenore's string today. It's like, what the hell, man?
I apologize to her on Facebook for it.
I apologized to her on air.
Oh, was she mad?
No, she wasn't mad.
She was not mad. She
Was
was.
she like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah,
Dylan happened.
yes. She was at first, and then she just started laughing.
Dylan's superpower.
Like I said, we were just lucky that Lenore had been dual streaming onto Twitch too, so we could keep going.
It's just really weird how it seems like someone is just looking up any kind of way to get Dylan taken off of stream.
What if it's Dylan?
Well, if it's Dylan.
No, really think about
Elaborate.
it. It's the perfect plan, isn't it? You know, you market yourself as this edgy Rule 34 wheeling and dealing artist, and And oh look, he's getting canceled. The powers that be don't want his artwork to get out there. So it creates demand.
You know, that actually makes sense. Dylan, how are you such an evil genius?
Max Visaggio secretly sent me. I was sent by Max Visaggio to make you guys look bad.
No, it's not. No, it's not making us look bad. It's making you look. I have this image.
Oh.
It gives you this marketable appeal.
Oh, I got the things reversed. Okay.
There's no such thing as bad publicity, after all.
I got my advice on how to come up with this plan from Ethan Van Sciver. I'm just playing.
And then we get taken down for.
I wouldn't be worried about it. If we're anticipating gay ops from Ethan, it's gonna be less than effective.
I mean, what's the point?
All right, just if you guys ever go on a stream with like Vamp on it, don't get her stream taken down too.
Okay, now Beth doesn't stream on Twitter. She streams on Twitch.
Oh, on Twitch. Oh well, okay.
I didn't mean Twitter. I meant YouTube. Fuck.
Yeah, I got what you meant.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. She does all her streaming on Twitch. So it's like, we're in danger of nothing. We're not in danger of killing her stream anytime soon. Plus, all she does is stream whatever video game she's playing at that time. Or if she's
Really,
showing.
there's some video games that you can get in trouble for streaming, like what was it, the Leisure Suit Larry games?
But nobody plays those.
More's the shame.
Yeah.
Who am I kidding? I don't play them either.
Yeah, you cannot make those games nowadays.
I think I have to on Steam. It was
Could
a
you
couple of
imagine?
bucks.
Could
It
you
was like a
imagine
couple
like
of
the
bucks and it's like-
backlash from them releasing a new Leisure Suit Larry game?
Actually, you want a backlash? Does anyone remember the Guy game?
The guy
Yes.
gets. Oh my
I just
god!
What?
I just watched the What Happened.
Or the sequel to BMXXX.
Okay, so Alabaster, you haven't heard of the Guy game.
Guy game.
Okay, so the Guy game it's basically Trivial Pursuit but with titties.
It's not even that. It's like the poor man version of the poor man Trivial.
It's not even really all that good, but the funniest thing for why it got taken down, for why it got pulled from shelves, it wasn't even because of the whole premise. It was because to get said titties, they went down to spring break and filmed girls taking their shirts off. Now they consented. You can probably see where this is going. Though
One of them was not an adult, were they?
one of them was underage, yes.
Oh shit!
And one of them was underage, and they did not know about it.
Huh.
And so
she like flat out lied.
she sued the developers to get it pulled from shelves. And they actually took that as a selling point. We are just too lewd for your average retailer.
Too
Look,
hot
not-
for TV.
Look, not even I'm like gonna like no. That's a step too far.
I mean, in their defense, they didn't know at the time, but they didn't make anything better by being like, "Look what we did."
Oh yeah, definitely. You can, yeah, you definitely can't defend that. It's just,
That's just ooh.
it's, but it's just like Jesus Christ. Like, did you not stop and think?
No. I think the answer is just no. Did you ever stop and think to yourselves, why?
That the guy game is an example of what happens when there's too much horny.
No, it's when someone tries to sell on nothing but the horny. Like, it's like there's no other redeeming quality to it but the horny. There's no care behind it at all. It's just like, what sells? Titties.
Yeah.
You know, although you have to wonder, even if
I really don't like
that's-
that kind of stuff because I always feel like I'm being told, I'm like, you're stupid, you'll buy it.
Here's the
Horny. Give us your money. Like,
Here's
no.
another point. Okay, so this was like what back to this was like on Xboxes and PS2. So this was like in the early 2000s. So the internet's around and has been adopted by most people by this point. Here's the thing. Why would you have bought? Why would you, assuming the controversy never happened, could have just gotten porn for free online?
In general, I posted something. It's an ad for a mobile game, and it's exactly what the guy game was. What it was. We know
Like
what
so
sells.
there's a game behind that at least. I mean, it's not a mobile game I want to play, but yeah, at least there's something there.
Yeah, but I'm willing. I haven't seen it like the actual gameplay itself, but I'm willing to bet money that it has nothing to do with what the trailer shows.
I don't think so either. Using some cheesecake, it's just some cheesecake advertising, which I personally don't have any issues with. If you get, just don't falsely advertise the product. Like I don't know if anyone remembers, but there was once that I remember seeing these animated ads on websites I frequented back in the day. It was for an online game. I don't remember the name of it, but I actually went and looked it up on Wikipedia, and it said that it came under fire a lot for its deceptive advertising.
What time was this around?
Probably late 2000s, I think. I was in high school around that time.
Only thing I can think of that came around that time maybe was Aliens Colonial Marines.
No, I'm just joking. That came out much.
Oh yeah, Aliens Colonial Marines, that you can lay at the feet of Randy Pitchford.
Okay.
Yeah.
One of the worst games ever made.
Okay, you want to hear something really tragic? The reason why the AI was so bad was because there's one little mistake in the code, and when that was fixed, the game actually worked.
Yeah, that was like, for me, I was just blindsided by that. Like, you've got to be kidding me.
Like,
so you guys all saw the Matt McMuscle video then, huh?
No, this was I saw Jim Sterling video actually.
Oh, I found about that coding error in Matt McMuscle's video.
Either way, it's embarrassing. I mean, it's easy for me as an artist to make fun of a coder, but still, that's just...
That physically hurts me to think about.
What were you going to say, Sauron?
No, because I remember hearing about that a long while before I ever saw the Muscle video talking about it. And I remember people were trying to, like, the guys reporting on trying to defend the coders. And I just remember someone in the comment was just saying, like, yeah, that's true. It's one mistake someone could have overlooked. But given how much wrong was with the game, you would have think they would have, tried anything.
honestly, Randy Pitchford's lucky that he hasn't wound up in the hospital because I live in the area where his company is, and apparently he's assaulted from what I've heard, he's assaulted some of his employees every now and then. This is the kind of area where most people are raised like you don't start anything, but you damn well finish it.
Why does this guy still have a job?
He's the owner of the company, so.
He owns
Even
Gearbot.
But
Gearbox
man,
is-
what?
He's the CEO.
Even so.
Yeah.
I mean, people in charge. It's not like they haven't been replaced before.
No, but you need to piss off the shareholders, and the only way that's going to happen is if you release a bunch of bad games that sell poorly one after the other.
Or you gotta say something offensive. Like,
What? Yeah.
I'm just saying, we get Randy Pitchford, we surround him with a bunch of actors, black guys, get him to be very mean to him, get him to slip that one word, and that's it. Be like Ashton Kutcher, as soon as he says it, just jump over the camera crew and like, gotcha, bitch. And he's gonna be like, what's this all for? It's like, he's gonna be like, what's all this for? What do you do? Why are you trying to ruin my life? I'm gonna be like, alien.
It's just-
We were hired by James Cameron himself to avenge what we've done to his movie.
Did you hear about EVO?
Oh God.
Yeah. That's some. That
Evo and the whole Brothers thing too.
Yeah, apparently there's something wrong with the whole little community right there.
Yeah, I remember someone was saying like apparently the whole fighting game community is full of
SJWs.
Well, not just that.
I said I think
Predators of the sexual variety.
the whack.
Yeah.
Okay, right. When you hear someone say, "I'm a male feminist," red flag, red flag.
Red fucking flag.
I said with the Smash Brothers, it wasn't even a male. It was well, supposedly, allegedly. I want to maintain that allegedly it was a lady.
It was a ma'am.
It's bam.
And we get
Oh,
kicked
yeah,
off
well,
the
what-
pitch.
Yeah, wasn't one of the high profile, one of the high profile players was apparently allegedly raped an underage boy.
Statutory,
And-
because he.
So-
I read his thing. Even at the time, he's like, I didn't think anything wrong with it. Granted,
Yeah,
he
but-
was 14 at the.
Yeah, but apparently he also did some.
The whole reason it's statutory is because kids are too stupid to realize that it's not good.
I know, but I still like to use the phrase for.
Well,
just
yeah.
to keep the distinction.
It's an important distinction.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that.
Yeah, I
Yeah, he
remember-
might have consented, but he did. He consented, but he shouldn't have, and he should have known he shouldn't have.
Right.
And
just a shame.
she being an adult would have known that. Obviously, should have known better.
Right.
And I remember reading the article for it. Excuse me. Reading the comments below it. So there were some people, they were being legitimate. It's like, holy crap. Then of course you have the assholes who were being like, nice. Or if I wish that was me, it's like, shut up. Like, shut up. You are literally the reason why men who get assaulted don't come forward.
Right. Well, that whole community was always very. I mean, I can understand a certain level of aggression because it's a fighting game, event. It's kind of what you expect, but the level of vitriol that kind of surrounds it was more than I would expect out of a video game attorney. But and then of course the head person being found out of being allegedly being a sexual predator, and then having the whole core values thing that he was shoving down everybody's throats is just
Yeah.
Of course.
I mean,
Like you expect it now.
I mean, the dude outright admitted to some of the stuff he did.
Ooh.
One thing that always gets me though is now this is more, I don't know how to really describe the word to describe it, but like it's always irked to me how people who, because let's say us as a group, one of us, you know, got accused of something wrong. It's always irked me how quickly people among them, like, you know, the people who work with this guy, just immediately turn on him instantly.
Like that guy who committed suicide.
Yeah.
What was it? That animal game.
Yeah, he made the indie game developer. I can't think of his name.
Yeah, and then he got accused by what's her name?
Quinn, the witch.
Zoe Quinn.
So yeah,
And then
maybe we
everybody,
should
even his own sister.
Yeah,
I
His
think
own sister. That was just disgusting.
guys, I think it might be a good
Yeah,
idea
man.
to tone it down because
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Twitch and all that. You never know what might get us knocked off of there.
Right.
Yeah, but we're not on
Tear
Twitter, you know.
gasm. It was fine.
But yeah, you get what I'm saying. Though. It's always irked me how people are so quick to turn against people who you would think by working with them, you know, you would have, even if they are or aren't, before it's proven, you would think they would have some kind of like, hey, I worked with this guy, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt, or you know, just stay quiet about it. Don't say anything. Just let it.
I would
play
certainly
out.
hope so.
But then you have some people who literally just turn around. It's like, oh my god, I can't believe he would do such a thing. How dare he? I would never, ever condone such an act. And it's like, you've known this guy for 10 years, and you're telling me you've never seen this behavior from them before?
Yeah,
You
it
know,
kind
stuff
of
like
reminds
that.
me about. It kind of reminds me like how all these Me Too stories were cropping up in the comics industry, and Perch was talking about like how
Exactly.
he had seen this actually happen at conventions and at bars like very frequently, in fact. And the only reason they didn't talk about it is because the comics industry acts like it's a good old boys club, and like everyone just doesn't talk about it.
Yeah, that's one of those things, like, when someone says stuff like that, it's like you're lying. You either never saw it, or you saw it and straight up did nothing about it. Because if you genuinely thought that was the wrong thing that was happening, you would have said something if you're a decent person. Especially if you saw it multiple times. If you saw it one time, I can give you the benefit of the doubt of saying, well, I didn't really realize what I was looking at. But if you're sitting here being like, I saw it for years, happening to all sorts of people, and you sell that, and I'm like, you didn't say anything during that time? I said, that says a lot about you as a person than what you're trying to, like, distance yourself from the issue.
That kind of reminds me of
Okay,
Meryl
but-
Streep. When Me Too happened, I'm like, man, Meryl Streep better not open her mouth. She better not say nothing, or else I'm gonna lose my mind. And I did. She opened her mouth, and I'm like, you above all people should have known. You above all people were in a position to say something. Because she's Hollywood star.
Okay, so
Yeah.
fall back doesn't mean that to continue on. A subject that we might get kicked off of I4.
So what tabletop games do you guys like?
I want to check to see if anything's changed on the crowd on the campaigns at all, and
No, not yet.
now Kickstarter's still at $12.94, which hey, I'm not complaining about that.
Yeah.
I'm not.
But like I said, when it comes to crowdfunding, people will wait until maybe the majority of people will wait until the last minute at times if it's a new project.
Yeah, I think we
You're
should
pro-
I think we should make like a video, like briefly discussing like the short comic, or you know, whatever short comic we have coming out.
How so?
You know, kind of similar to, let's say the Kickstarter IndieGoGo video for Matt's for Mythics.
Oh, you mean something like what the Kickstarter video?
Yeah, just just to sort of describe what's to come, or uh, uh, I, I don't know. That's up to you.
Basically, something along the lines of
Oh, you know what? I have a question. You know, as a longtime fan of what you guys are doing, but I've never really thought to ask. Have you guys decided on like a magic system? Because I know some authors they like to play fast and loose. Others they kind of like to have more hard rules on it. Like, what are your thoughts?
I think there should.
do-
I definitely
we
think
do-
there should be.
Yeah, we do have a. I think we do have set up a strict sort of like how magic. We have a whole document full of
how it
magic
works.
Yeah, although that's still being worked.
Wait,
We
talk.
need
It just works. It just works.
Please no.
Hey, sorry I left abruptly, guys. Looks like the hot water tank heater is leaking in the house, so had to.
Oh man, I've had that happen
Oh
before.
boy.
Do you have it set up so that it leaks into the garage or something at least?
Well, it's right next to a drain, so
Oh, okay, that's good.
yeah, it's but I don't know anything about it. I was talking to my dad about it, and we're just keeping an eye on it because it might be something else. But it looks like it's the hot water heater.
Oh,
So
Jeez.
yeah, that was my bad. I had to get
Good
off
luck,
because I
man.
cleaned it all up.
Yeah, good luck.
So I've been advertising.
He didn't seem too phased by it. So I mean, he does this kind of does this kind of stuff for his job. So
that's good.
Right, so I've been advertising the Patreon quite a bit on Discord and other places. Do we have any more engagement on that, or can we tell?
No, not as far as I can tell. We're still at 31 patrons.
oh, and just curious, are we still live?
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, we
Oh,
technically still
Hi,
are.
world. You all now the whole world knows my plumbing issues.
Well, 2 people.
Sucks.
But
I hear you have a leaky pipe.
yeah, we're actually still streaming on YouTube, so it's really weird. Oh right, it's because we didn't show any of Dylan's work.
Hey, we got a new pledge on IndieGoGo. We're now at
Ooh, nice.
798 there.
Now, how in terms of like actual dollar amounts, how far are we from the goal? Like combined through both of those revenue streams.
Well, on IndieGoGo we're about 202. On Kickstarter we're about 306. So
Pretty close.
yeah. So we've got about another a little less than 1,000 left to go. With 16 days to go.
That should be enough time.
Yep.
Even with COVID.
I
Man,
think
Governor Abbott.
Oh god.
I understand why he did what he did, but I just still don't think a governor should have the authority to say everybody has to do this now.
I just love how there are lawyers literally saying, "Hey, if you get charged with this, contact us and we'll represent you."
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'm going to wear it just because I want to help keep people safe, but I don't like being told what to do.
See, I'm
Yeah.
on the.
I really don't like being told what to do.
I'm on the.
Well,
boat of,
just keep in mind, it's kind of a lawyer's job to. I mean, they sometimes it's kind of their job to just try to help you no matter what. So just because a lawyer.
Oh, no, I don't mean
is-
the lawyer. I mean the government.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll always listen to a lawyer. as long as they're my lawyer and they're depending on me paying them.
So would you listen to? So how likely would you be to listen to Saul Goodman then?
You know what? I'd probably listen to him pretty damn hard. Dude's a good lawyer. He's not an ethical lawyer, but he's a good lawyer.
Kind of like in
You gotta
Hollywood.
get that. What's that blind lawyer in New York? You gotta get him to represent you.
Oh,
My gosh, speaking of lawyers, you guys are familiar with the character Perry Mason, right?
yep.
Yeah.
He's they've made a new HBO series it's not like the pulps and it's not like the TV show. It's kind of its own thing, but it's got some heavy noir-esque elements.
Oh,
I'm really enjoying it.
They didn't modernize it or anything, huh?
They did modernize it, but it's still set in the 30s. So, like,
That's what I'm.
as somebody, I've read a lot of stuff that take place in the 30s, and I'm like, this isn't quite how people talked like back then, but it captures the spirit of how they talked back then. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Now they do some HBO stuff with it, like they have gratuitous sex scenes that don't really add anything to characterization, and they're just there to eat up time, and that gets kind of annoying. But other than that, it's a really good show.
Yeah, so it's. So basically, like Boardwalk Empire, then.
Listen, Spartacus it's not a bad show, but sometimes it has the very obvious sex scene to run out the run.
And they do
Oh, I
it
wasn't
because
I wasn't talking about Spartacus. I was
I
talking
kind of
about.
feel like it's like their calling card at this point. It's like, hey, look at us, we're HBO. We can get away with this because we're HBO. And it's like,
Boom!
we
Boom!
get it.
The audience, they're walking away. What do we do? I know, Mr. Max Bialystock. We put in tits. Oh,
I wasn't talking about.
Well, that's been
Yeah,
their
like I said, they
signature
were
for a while though.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
yeah.
were even. Like I said, they were even doing that shit in Boardwalk Empire.
They were doing
They've been
that
doing it
shit
before
before
that.
they had sound in pictures.
I remember what was it, the Spawn animated series. In the first season,
Yeah.
there's a lot of sex scenes, and I was just thinking like as a kid when I watched it. First of all, I should have been watching it as a kid, but as a kid when I watched, I was like, yeah. Then as I got older, and I realized that these scenes really have nothing to do with the story or what really going on. They're just there, and it's like I guess they're trying to sell you on how seedy and edgy the world is that they're in, but at the same time, it's like in hindsight, like this doesn't add any value to the story, especially as animated. I mean,
Can I say something? This deep dark secret I've been harboring.
Oh, no.
Let me just say, I love the movie Highlander. It's one of the greatest movies ever made, and I love it to death. But
Oh, I love that movie.
But I didn't like the sex scene in Highlander because I felt like it wasn't earned. I'm like, this is the second scene they've been together. What?
There's
don't,
Oh, well.
don't think about it. Just consume.
Just consume.
don't ask questions.
that's what they said about the sequels. I think Highlander is one of those franchises where the sequels show way from a movie's legacy, or a story's legacy. Can you name a sequel from Highlander that's better than the actual movie?
Not even close.
You know what's sad is that normally when it comes to sequels or bad movies or something, I can usually say, but I'm glad it was made because it's something rather than nothing. But the Highlander sequels are probably the only exception I have to that. We really would be better off if some of the sequels had been made.
Highlander, the source, was so bad that they couldn't even get Queen to be in it. They had to have a cover band do the iconic songs.
You know what's really sad?
Hmm.
And I guess this is more of a credit to how awesome the idea of Highlander is. I'd never heard of Highlander or seen it. And I think it was on the Sci-Fi Network, I saw Highlander the Source, and I'm like, the story sucks, but this is really cool. Like, and that's the one good thing I can say about that movie is that there's some sort of like kernel of Highlander that's in that movie that still resonates.
Honestly, Highlander, the series, is probably the best thing to come out of as a spin-off.
It was
Did you
decent.
see that's probably the best example you're ever going to see of Spanish-style fencing as well, was one of the characters in that.
It was decent. Like, not great, but decent. Although
It was better
one
than the movie
series-
sequels.
Then of course you got The Crow. Like, it's like, how do you even make a sequel out of that?
You just can't. There are some movies that are one-and-done deals.
Especially considering the main actor died.
It would ruin what came before,
Yep.
or it might invalidate what story happened. Which is why I'm not a big fan of Pacific Rim. Because in my opinion, the very existence of a sequel undoes ending and everything they went through in the original movie.
Yeah. Yay, we shut down the Pacific Rim. JK, it's back.
Exactly.
Don't they
also one of
spend
the
more
Hey,
time
look, we
fighting
killed
other...
the Emperor. JK, he survived.
Yeah.
Don't
I
they
was gonna
spend
say,
more time fighting other mechs in Pacific Rim Uprising than they do
Yeah.
kaiju there?
Yeah.
Yeah, it takes forever for the kaiju to actually return, quote unquote.
But they
It would
also...
be okay, I'll give them this. If you make a giant robot, and there's other countries that also have giant robots, you're doing a disservice to humanity by not having them fight. Let's be real here.
I would have loved
At the very least, you should use those mechs to make a live-action version of G Gundam.
I was gonna say, like, have like boxing matches in the robot. Like, literally build
That-
giant stadiums.
Before I finish you
That's-
off, I have one question. Have you seen this man?
Hey, Sauron, that's
Mhm.
basically the plot for Robot Jocks.
Shining Finger!
I know what you're talking about. I haven't seen it, but I know what you're talking about.
Yep. Basically, a lot of what we've seen in Pacific Rim was actually taken from Robot Jocks in terms of how they worked.
It's funny because Pacific Rim, the original, it's very clearly heavily inspired anime in general.
Yep.
Well, they even got the dude who does the posters for the Metal Gear series to do one of the one-off posters for Pacific Rim. It looks really cool.
Pacific Rim is literally like the most anime main movie.
I don't know. It's
One of them.
I thought Pacific Rim was pulling more from kaiju movies than anime.
But see, in my opinion, kaiju movies are basically live action.
Well then, yeah, by that logic, basically any Sentai show is like Kamen Rider.
I don't know, because it's got like the full-on Power Rangers in suits. To me, like, that distinguishes itself enough. But then again, I guess you could still call those one. You really, the name would still.
That's well.
It's like one of those things where it's like, it's so over the top, it's so ridiculous. This would really work in animated form, but they still manage to pull it off.
Yeah, I think I saw this one Kamen Rider clip where one of the writers he runs through a bus that one of the bad guys tosses, and it's very well executed. I don't know shit about Kamen Rider, but all I know is what I saw. That looked cool, and I don't care that this is for a TV show that is basically a glorified toy commercial.
Listen, some of the best shows and products, best shows and stories we've ever gotten started off as toy, all right?
Started off with what?
Toy commercial,
Oh, yeah.
essentially. Freaking Transformers is probably one of the most well known with. They were designed to sell
Thundercats.
toys. Thundercats, GI Joe.
My Little Pony Friendship is Magic.
There's millions of, well, maybe not. You get it. It's like
I mean,
it's
you know, to
still
be
got a good
fair,
story out of it.
I think honestly, toy commercial TV shows are just inherently really good storytelling opportunities because your only limits your imagination of what crazy things you can come up with.
Yeah, because
I mean, that's the whole point, is to create some exciting, shiny new thing. And
it also
You know,
helps when you
now that I
have,
think about it, there's a good case in that with Transformers Beast Wars, because okay, everyone knows Waspinator, right?
Yep.
we'll pretend I do.
Okay, so Waspinator, for Alabaster's benefit, he was one of the Predacons, and his role was basically he was the chew toy. He existed to get blown up and get beaten down.
Starscream.
And now, here's the reason why. So, because of the way Waspinator talked and the voice that Scott McNeil had to use for him, his lines took way too long to do, and the animation team they were contractually obligated by Hasbro to feature all the different robots at least once, at least in one scene in every episode to help properly advertise the toys. So they would try to figure out any way they could to get Waspinator out of the episode as quickly as possible.
That's creative writing, Brett.
And not only that, like when they started rolling out new toy lines like the Transmetals, then they had to introduce new forms of characters, and they had Fusors, which forced them to introduce even new characters. But yeah, it's like they had, and not only that, it's like even when they were starting to clear the deck for season 2, they actually lobbied to keep Waspinator because he started growing on them. Like,
that's one of the downsides to. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you.
No, I was gonna say, like, he exists to get beaten up, but we kind of love the guy.
Underdog.
Well, yeah. I mean, when life gets you down repeatedly, that's the kind of character you'll connect with. And for a lot of people, that's kind of what life is.
One thing I was gonna say was that's one of the downsides to toy commercial shows. Any character who isn't, the toy isn't selling, try to cut them. However, if the toy's not selling, it doesn't mean the character isn't being well received. So now you have these awkward moments where it's like, okay, we're gonna try to give them less of a presence, but it's like this is their favorite character. Just because they aren't buying a toy doesn't mean they're enjoying the character.
I think I had 2 different Krillin action figures. I know for sure I had the one that was him from the Boo Saga, and he had that weird gun with him for some reason. And I think I had another one that was from him earlier in the show, throwing the Kienzon, the Destructo Disc. But I really liked Krillin.
Yeah.
Here's another thing, like the whole, like, there's a downside to like shows being toy commercials, because Young Justice was kind of a victim of this arrangement. Because if anyone doesn't remember this,
Time slot.
Yeah.
Same thing with Thundercats.
So if I remember, the Warner Brothers had a deal, or was it with Cartoon Network? Was it Cartoon Network had the deal with Warner Brothers? Or was it the other way around? There was a deal between
the other way around, because Warner Brothers is definitely
there was a deal between Cartoon Network and Warner Brothers that Young Justice would air with a dedicated toy line to tie in. Here's the problem: the toys weren't selling.
Mm-hmm.
Even though the show was reviewing well and had, I think, even had good ratings too.
They brought it back though.
I know,
Eventually.
but that was why they took it off the air in the first place, was just because the toys didn't sell. And it was a good show.
Yep.
I
Wait, what
forget
show
about
was
it,
it,
yeah. Oh man, I gotta get going, guys. I got work in the morning.
All right.
I will see you guys later.
Yep. Talk to you later.
Good luck on the campaign.
And thank you. And
Looking forward to that comic.
it's coming.
Later, man.
All right,
Mhm.
so we're approaching 2 hours, and we're still on YouTube.
Good night,
Oh,
everybody.
Good
God.
night.
Night.
Right. Yeah, but that's the thing though. It's like, but that's the thing. It was a good show, and it only got taken off air because its toys weren't selling.
Yeah, because it's just one of those things where it's like, if it doesn't match the product being pushed, it kind of acts it, and it's like, because I don't think a lot of them realize that when you do storytelling like that, you end up with two different audiences. You have the audience that actually watches the show for the story, and then you have the people who only buy the toys. Because I'm pretty sure there are people who bought those toys who knew nothing about the show, and then vice versa, you have people who watched the show had no idea the toys even existed.
I
Yeah.
also guess I have to wonder. It's like, considering who most of the characters were, it's not like these were. I mean, yeah, people know who Robin are. Everyone knows who Robin is, but it's like, but how well known are characters like Superboy or Kid Flash or Speedy?
Oh yeah.
Speedy or Aqualad.
Right.
So maybe it was just I'm just trying to figure out, like, why were those toys not selling?
Probably because the people watching the show either A, didn't know the toys really existed. Because when you really think about it, like, think of the demographic who probably watched it. Like,
I think Young Justice was like aiming for an older audience, not a mature one, just like one that was probably like more in their teen years. I think more like teen high school age or something. I think.
Right.
That's
what
not
I'm saying,
about
like, yeah, at that age, most people aren't buying the toy. That's the age where they're a little ashamed to buy the toy.
This is true.
Because I remember when I was that age, there were several, there was Transformers that I was like, oh my god, I want that. But I was like, in high school, this is not the time to be buying stuff. Now I'm a grown adult, I buy whatever I want. You get what
They
I'm saying?
probably might have been done better if they could have given him a decent video game tie-in. There was a video game tie-in from Young Justice, but from what I remember, it wasn't good.
And I remember that. And what sucked about that was that it was important to the story, season 2. Like, because you know how there's a 5-year time gap between season 2? Whatever.
Oh, yeah. So this filled in the
game
gaps.
The game covers some of that gap. There's at least, because I know in season 2, there's a group of characters that just a group of characters. There's certain characters that die in between the seasons. The game has, like, I think at least one of the characters.
I gotta say that I gotta say I'm not exactly sure I'm a fan of that practice, putting in like important plot details in supplementary material.
Oh, it's awful. To me, it's one of the worst ways to tell a story, because you're no longer just entertaining your audience; you're giving them hope. You're relying on them. You're relying on them to not only be a fan of the show, but also be a fan of a video. Because contrary to popular belief, not everyone who watches TV also likes video games, and vice versa.
Yeah, I mean, like, they couldn't have just done something that was like a side story that would have, that story where it's like, and I'm pretty sure they had, and if it was covering like the 5 parts of the 5-year gap, they could I have to assume they had the same writing staff on it. They could have crafted a decent side story that you could probably see fitting somewhere in the continuity.
Like
But
it could have
the-
been done better, but
It's like, but no, you put like stuff that is plot critical information in that instead of the actual show, and expect people to actually pick up on that. It's like, it reminds me of that. It reminds me of those tie-in novels to those anime Godzilla movies.
oh god.
Like,
Oh my God.
like
read
I
it.
did. Okay, now I haven't read those novels because they have not been released outside of Japan, to my knowledge. But I've seen Wikizilla cover the plots of them, and all I'm
Yeah.
thinking of is, holy shit, it's like we missed out on a more interesting movie.
It's yeah, it's like it's what the movie should have been. Literally a monster apocalypse. That sounds awesome.
Hey, it sounds like Destiny, where you get all this cool backstory, but you don't get to play any of that.
Exactly. Like I remember watching videos talking about it. I was like, are you kidding me? Telling the story of the world being overtaken by monsters to the point where humanity was like, screw it, we just need to leave this planet. That sounds epic as all hell.
Yeah.
So
But you know how crazy the world must have been for people to have just been like, you know what, screw it. Screw it. This planet isn't worth it. We're just gonna leave and wait for all the monsters to die of old age.
Kind of like
so like
the idea behind After Earth, that terrible Will Smith movie.
it's like like it's one thing. Like you should never make your audience feel like they missed out on a better story.
And especially if you don't plan on visiting said story. Like it would have been different if say the second movie was a flashback to that story or something, or had flashbacks to that story, but they never touch upon it, so that makes it even worse. Because I get they were probably
To your
trying to go for a
filmmaking.
world that felt lived in.
And Jesus,
But
I mean,
if you
like
don't
every
show it,
scene
it
is
was in the intended material, then what's the point of having it? Especially when it's so epic compared to what you give them.
I mean, like even a post-apocalyptic Godzilla movie that has potential,
Yeah.
but it's so lame.
What's funny is that's what the movie was. It was a post-apocalyptic Godzilla movie.
Yeah, even that has potential. Like that's not a doomed concept.
And in some of the most popular monsters. But
Are we talking about the animated Godzilla movie?
yeah, and how in the books, some of the most interesting stuff happens in the books and not in the movies. Some of the most popular monsters show up in the books and not in the movie.
Yeah, there are two prequel novels to the anime Godzilla trilogy still. They have not been released outside of Japan. Wikizilla did a couple videos covering their plots, and when you watch, and after you finished watching them, you just feel like you missed out on a better story.
Like if I remember correctly, majority of the monsters in the Toho that Toho owns show up in the books. What's this? Orga shows up in the books. Gigan shows up. Zilla, the original American Godzilla, shows up. Like all these monsters show up in the books, and it's like this. The more you talk about this, the more epic this sounds, especially when compared to the movie that you actually got to see.
Yeah, but even that, which wouldn't be so bad if the movie we got had been decent, but it wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't really until the final movie did it get somewhat interesting, and even then, it's not interesting enough to excuse what you went through for the first two.
No, it's not. It isn't. It's just. I think IDW had
had a comics miniseries for Godzilla that had a post-apocalyptic setting. I think it was Godzilla Cataclysm.
Mm-hmm.
That was okay. Nothing great, but it was okay.
Pretty much all the IDW Godzilla comics, all of them, for the most part, are better than the animated.
Yeah.
At least in terms of what they give.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like about the only, I think like the only, like they've at least got interesting ideas. Like even like Godzilla Out of Time, like you're seeing like all these times
Oh my
Godzilla's shown
God.
up through history. Like that's a cool idea.
I love that. I love that comic. Even though it's not perfect, I love that. I love how he literally goes up against the Olympian god, and pretty much kills a good majority. Like, you know how ridiculous that concept sounds? Godzilla versus Zeus. It's a fight that I never thought I wanted to see, but I'm glad I saw.
Yeah, and then you got Godzilla in Hell, which is
Oh
that's
my god.
that one gets rough in places, but it's got some very cool, but it's got some of the best visual storytelling I've ever seen in a comic.
Yeah, I don't think there's a single spoken word in that entire book.
There's some text boxes, but but even then, like it's got a cool idea. Godzilla going through hell, like literally, and then you get like Godzilla rulers of Earth, which is basically like the big budget Destroy All Monsters sequel.
It's Final
Or,
Wars.
or Final Wars. Like it's like they've at least got good ideas, and they pull them off with enough earnestness that even if they're not perfect, you can overlook it.
They know what they are. They know that they're big, dumb smack. They know what they're here. They don't try to get all philosophical. Well, they have some philosophical. They try to go so. They don't go so ham on it.
Yeah, I think like with Godzilla in Hell, like it gets like that just because it leaves enough breathing room for you to at least think about it instead of it shows you instead of tells you.
Especially when you think of the implication of Godzilla's in hell, and when you really think about it as a Godzilla fan, it's like, yeah, he probably earned that.
Right.
What are you talking about? He's just a big innocent lizard who is just misunderstood.
I mean, like I said, honestly, I think if the reason why they get, I almost hate using this word just because I think too many people on the internet it's one of those overused internet words, but I honestly don't have a better way of putting it. The reason why the anime trilogy gets kind of pretentious is because they looked at the first movie and they did see that it was intelligent. That was a very sophisticated movie, not just for its day. It's even still relevant now.
Yeah.
And they wanted to make something that was on that level, but it's like
The first one is so timeless. There's no point of making a follow-up to it or trying to live up to it.
You shouldn't be trying to copy something. You should be, if anything, just try to pay tribute or try to emulate it.
I don't know if they were just trying to. I don't know if they were trying to copy it so much as they were trying to emulate it and just just sort of lacked the nuance and subtlety and talent to pull it off. Because, like,
Yeah,
because one of the reasons. I was gonna say one of the reasons why like the first movie is able to affect you on such a deep and emotional level is because this came down to Ishiro Honda's directing, where he wanted to put the focus on the people. Like Godzilla was just a threat. He wanted to show just how, like he spent time establishing who all these people were. We had names and faces to go with these people, so that when when Godzilla's rampage through Tokyo came by, we just basically saw them get thrown into a living nightmare, see their entire world go to hell, and how it affects them.
Basically, you know how like everyone's least favorite thing about a Godzilla movie is the human characters? He basically just focused on the human characters.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Honda did, and that's just because he has a very had a very human directing style. He's dead now, I think.
Right.
I would be surprised if he was still alive today. But,
I mean, that just kind of sounds like a no-brainer. Like, I'm sure he's not alive.
Yeah. He focused on the humanity. Like he was very like a lot of it. If you kind of look at movies he's done outside of Godzilla, and I guess look at the movies he's done outside of the kaiju genre to be more specific, you find that he definitely gravitated to those more human stories, like showing relationships, showing people in harmony with nature, things like that.
Okay, so we're definitely beyond at past 2 hours, so I think we might as well wrap it up.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. Let's. Okay. So we'll just leave it off with where we are currently on Kickstarter and IndieGoGo. Currently, Kickstarter is at $12.94, 40 backers, 64% funded. IndieGoGo $798, 15 backers, 79% funded, and both have at least 2 weeks left on weeks to go. So 2 weeks to go. So donate while you still can, and if you can't, we have links in the description. So at least tell people about them. That's about all.
All right. So.
And I guess before we go off there, has anyone got anything they want to plug?
I think I've plugged enough already.
All right.
All right. Well. Maybe wait until Sauron gets back, so that he's not confused about whether or not we're being off air. Because he might have something to talk about with what's going on with him.
Mm-hmm. But all in all, we hope you guys had a good 4th of July. I know I did. I spent my 4th of July doing fucking all.
Same here.
I was drunk.
Yeah, why would you want to do anything on Independence Day, man?
The freedom to do nothing.
Oh, you're back.
Yep.
All right. So you got anything you want to plug before we go off air, man?
Not really. Still working on the swords and get
All right then.
Get established. So.
All right. So where can we find everyone? On Twitter. I'm at
Celtic Brett.
I mean, I have a art page on Facebook called Dylan DYLANR. That's my middle name, Dylan R Fagan, and FAGAN. And then after that, it'll say artwork, and yeah, that's my art page on Facebook. Oh, and you can find me on Instagram at Dylan R Fagan. And it's not hard to find.
I am Sauron, the Dark Lord of Mordor. at Lord of Barendor 0 on Twitter. I like to fuck around, so yeah.
All right, and you can catch me at Matt Trin on Twitter. And I hope everyone has a good night.
All right.
Good night.
Good night.
Oh, wait, what about you, Salem?
Oh, well, I'm nowhere near as on Twitter as much as I used to be. So, just if you want to get a hold of me, just go on to Instagram. Salem Xavier LeBlanc, all one word.